Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Francine, and thank you guys for clicking onto my channel, The Hermetic Herald. I'm here for a quick message for a number of celebrities that were viewer requested. So I am really excited to get into it. I feel pumped. I feel like there's a lot of information and insight we can get. So I wanted to kind of show you guys my deck so that you know what you're getting into as well. So this is the Kipper deck. This is going to be something I use for situations to understand like specific circumstances. I also have my Shamanic Healing Oracle cards by Michelle Montuzas, I believe is her name. So I just want to kind of show you guys that. It has the name on there for you. I also do work with the Moonology deck. This is going to be about healing, by the way, healing messages for each of the parties. And then this is also about advice from spirit based on the phases of the moon. So I'm getting Aries energy, really good. So I'm feeling like I need to switch it up a little bit. I'm using the Rider-Waite deck here, and I'm gonna touch base on Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. I don't know why I did that. But keep in mind, this energy is past, so I know that I'm gonna be touching base on only the energies in the past and the current present moment. So you're gonna be taken back to whatever year it was. I actually don't know what year they were dating, but it was quite early in 2000, or it was like, yeah, in the 2000s. So I was pretty young then. So I'm gonna be coming at this with an unbiased approach. I'm just gonna touch base on their energies. I'm gonna be talking about 5 things. So I'm gonna be talking about the aura surrounding these two people, surrounding Justin Timberlake and Britney Spears. What needed more attention when they were together at the time? What were their areas for growth at the time? What should they have paid closer attention to and corrected? And what was the outcome? We know what happened, but I'm gonna go deeper. Wow, 3 swords. Okay. I'm gonna go deeper, and I'm gonna see like what ended up happening between them. What was the energy at the end of the relationship? And then I'll kind of go into the present tense, look at how they look at each other, and then we'll look at some healing messages. Okay, I feel that card strongly. Okay, I'm hearing 2. So I'm gonna just do the first 2 here, okay? It looks like that's okay. I guess they just want me to continue. So we have the aura surrounding the situation. What were the areas that needed more attention? What are areas for growth together? What should they pay closer attention to? And what was the most likely energy or outcome between them, apart from them separating? 3 of Pentacles is here. So the overall energy is the 3 of Pentacles, the King of Cups, and the 7 of Cups. This is the energy of friendship or camaraderie between 2 people, a lot of love between them, but them being left in indecision or in an illusion of each other. So there was an illusion between these 2 people, these 2 parties. Something was not clear. Something was not made clear to them. Okay, so let's touch base on the aura surrounding the situation. We have the 9 of Wands. The aura surrounding the relationship at the time, in the past, was the 9 of Wands, an energy of like the wounded warrior. This is an energy of trying to hold on to something to keep it afloat. In order for it to continue, in order for it to thrive, it was like they had to put in a lot of effort. They had to put in 9 pentacles in order for this, or 9 wands, in order for this to really grow. And there's something about you needing to know that this was nearing the end. So the energy was really tired. It was really like, I gotta keep going, I gotta keep making this work, I gotta keep up. There was just a lot of energy put into this with the wands coming through. So what was it that needed more attention though? We have the 4 of Swords. They needed to spend more time in rest. They actually needed to take time to actually think about how they felt about each other, about the situation at hand. There was not enough rest. They were always go, 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 go. When you have the 9 of Wands and you have the 4 of Swords, it's like your spirit guides and your spirit team are trying to tell you, take a nap. You know, it was the energy of you need to slow down because you're not actually thinking clearly, and you could also get in more of like an eruptive state or like destructive energy when you're really tired. You know, like the saying, when you're hungry. When you're hungry, some people tend to lash out a lot more. When you're tired, you tend to lash out more or to be more high strung. So there was an energy of them being like too high strung, and there needed to be rest in order to recuperate. And there was not enough rest. They needed to have more rest. As simple as that. Something as simple as not getting enough rest, especially if you're like, for instance, a new parent and you guys aren't getting enough sleep as it is because you have to take care of your child. imagine the arguments that come out of that. I can attest to like just feeling so over the day, like just being like, I want to sleep and I don't want to talk, I don't want to do anything, I just want to go, you know. And that energy comes through for both of us, both parties, and for other parents out there. They needed to take the time to rest because this was not working out with the amount of work they put out. They weren't getting like enough time to refresh. Very important for this message. So what were their areas of growth together? We have the King of Pentacles. They need to grow. Okay, so interesting. They need to grow in their abundance. They actually needed to kind of, I'm hearing they were trying to water something in order for it to grow, but they weren't patient enough, or like there wasn't enough to have it grow to an extent where it would actually have them sitting here looking at it and exploring. It was like they were kind of like, it was something got stunted. There wasn't enough generosity or enough like riches to build something together. So there was some stagnancy. There wasn't like enough abundance between the two of them to make this into something more. Something was halted. And I can imagine just from the energy we just got, they were tired. They had a lot going on in their career paths. They had a lot of energy going on between them individually. They needed rest. They needed time to recalibrate. They even probably could have needed time to actually spend separate before they made a big decision, but they didn't do that. Okay, so they needed to actually take the time to think, and I don't think they really got the time. It was go, 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 and their energy was like very much drained. So when you're drained, you can't expect to have the King of Pentacles. You have to reserve, I'm hearing reserve your own energy to even stay afloat, much less have an abundance together. Okay, so what should they pay closer attention to? What should they have, past tense, paid closer attention to? Judgment. Speaking their truth. Someone was not speaking their truth, or both. I'm hearing both. Both of them were not speaking their truth collectively about what they were feeling and what they were thinking and what they were going to do. There was not judgment. Usually when I like to say, like when I see the Judgment card, I'm seeing this angel blowing the trumpet and heralding in a new age, or bringing in a message like, okay, we are going, like this is the end, and these people are ready to receive it. But the message was not received. The message needed to be received, or they needed to have a judgment call with regards to this relationship. And this takes maturity with the major arcana. I feel like they weren't in a place mature-wise, as far as their maturity goes, to actually acknowledge what was needed in this relationship to keep it afloat, and they did not communicate it. When you're not communicating what you need and want from an individual or from a relationship, you likely end up in a lot of turmoil, because you're feeling like you need to tell them to do this or that to help you understand. It's like, for instance, even love languages. Like, I don't even know, but I feel like they had differing love languages. Like, they weren't loving each other the way that they needed to be loved, and they weren't communicating it. So it was like, one person could have had words of affirmation, right? And then the other person could have had gifts, and they were not seeing that. And that was needed. There needed to be like a judgment call and communication, clarity on the situation. I feel really strongly that I need to like get a card for this. Spirit, what would you like to say from this deck here? So this is the tea leaf fortune cards. You've probably seen this in a lot of videos. What is judgment about here? What else is there? Oh, wow. Okay. Feel this one really strongly. So we have 4 cards. March is very notable for them. Something happened in March, or Pisces season. So we have involvement with the law. If you guys can see that. Involvement with the law. You are highly thought of. This was in regards to their stardom. There was something about going to court for something. We have April, something notable happening also in April in the spring. And we have slowly but surely getting ahead. Yeah, there's some contract. This could be an actual contract with like a agreement with, I'm feeling like it could be management in regards to her career path, Britney specifically, and Justin Timberlake's. But I feel like it's more so, wow, I'm feeling like it could be one of the two that had some involvement with the law, or they were not speaking or addressing this contract. They were getting ahead slowly but surely, but it wasn't picking up for them. There was something that they needed to talk about in regards to this contract. Something needed to be said to them, or that they needed to say to each other. December, so many dates are coming out, guys. April, December, and March are important. And I shuffled up these decks, so it's like all of those dates are coming together. Good fortune. Something happened for them in December that was really positive. December of the year that they were together. I think this is the last year before they broke up. November is coming through. Oh my gosh. So Spirit's highlighting that they received some criticism about their relationship. And I feel like with Diamond coming through, we have Diamond, Cup, receiving valid criticism. Someone was willing to actually have an engagement, and I feel like it didn't work out. Family matters. Something family related didn't work out for these two. Someone in their family was not approving of this. I feel as though the involvement with the law was actually a marriage, like actually being interested in actually tying the knot, right? You were highly thought of. They were really in love with each other, but they just were so busy and so tired and so drained. And something happened where they were trying to get ahead in April. You guys can't see that. Slowly but surely they were making moves. And we have here good fortune. So I feel very strongly that they were like going to tie the knot. But someone was indecisiveness, and they allowed it to go on longer than the other person wanted. And family matters is here. Pleasure with a close friend, right? And too much concern with sexual matters. Wow. Let me put my music on because it was really good, and now it's like, okay. Yeah, so we have a family member or something in regards to family. Pleasure with a close friend. Someone here had someone else that was interested in them, and they were like, they needed to talk about that. Wow, so we have two things. Marriage was on the table with the Diamond, but then there was also like someone else that was very sexual in the relationship that also had other people or had a close friend, and that caused some dissension between them because of that. They were getting ahead slowly but surely with the Tortoise card, but so much happened in December, April, March, and November. Those are 4 specific months where something big happened. And if you guys know, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, we have just an energy of them having a lot of like interest in each other and wanting to go further, but they were just not taking the time to speak about this. What is the most likely outcome, or what was the energy between them towards the end, or where was it going? Was the Queen of Swords? I'm feeling really strongly that Britney pulled the plug on this and ended this, because the Queen of Swords is usually a very cutting energy. It's someone who has clarity on what they want and they say it. She had clarity on what she wanted to do and she said it. She tends to speak what she feels. And the Queen of Swords can be a little bit hurtful because she's saying it honestly and upfront, and people can't handle it all the time. So yeah, so it just ended up with her making a decision and saying, I don't think this is gonna work. There was something about her not butting heads with her, having some difficulty in addressing this engagement or this desire to marry her. Please let me know if that resonates for you. If this is information that is public knowledge, it's confirmation, okay? So what is the external vibe? Wow, external vibe of Britney. You want me to continue, Spirit? Okay, so external vibe, internal vibe of Britney, external vibe of Justin, internal vibe of Justin. Okay, that's good. So external vibe of Britney, Temperance. Towards him, she felt like he was a very balanced person. He helped balance her out. This is also Sagittarius energy. It's major arcana. She thought he was a major part of her life at one point, and she felt like he balanced her out really well. They worked really well together. Internally though, she felt the 2 of Cups. Wow, guys. She felt a lot of love for him. She felt like a soulmate relationship with him, very tied in with him, intricately tied. I'm hearing intricately tied together, wound together is what I'm hearing. His external vibe towards her was the 7 of Pentacles. He feels like he put a lot of work and perseverance into the relationship, but this also can denote someone who's a little tired, who's looking back and is like wanting more, but not happy or truly like satisfied with the results. It's like they're expecting more. This is right before the Eight of Pentacles, when they're putting their work in again to get more of the Pentacles. So he was really like looking at her and doting on her, but like the energy was like, I want more, I want more. This is gonna be what I want it to be, or it's gonna be something or nothing at all. It's gonna be what I feel. I'm putting all the energy into this. I want to see something come out of it. His internal vibe with her is the Page of Swords in reverse. The only reversal in the deck, or the only reversal in the spread. So that tells me the Page of Swords is typically a very petty energy in reverse. In upright, it can just be the start of conversation, a new beginning, like very passionate energy, initiating either communication or a contract. But this is about the end of a contract. At the time, he feels like he was very petty with communication with her. He was very upset with her. This can denote gossip as well. So he could have been gossiping about her and talking about her behind her back and saying really hurtful things. Things that were not true is what I'm hearing. Not true is what I'm hearing strongly. Something about his energy being very like immature. Look at her though. Like she got major arcana and a lot of love for him, and he's tired and he's being petty. And I don't like saying that, but that's what I'm getting. So what is the advice for these two? Wow, believe in the impossible. Believe in the impossible, blue moon, once in a blue moon, right? We had a blue moon recently on August 30th. And what's interesting is that this relationship was once in a blue moon. They felt like they just came across each other and they collided, is what I'm hearing. Star-crossed lovers in a way. So it's like they collided and they separated. Okay, what is the advice for Britney and Justin Timberlake in light of this? It's time to release negativity, man. So I'm getting full moon in Scorpio. So this is telling me like negativity was a sign of some insecurities or some like shadows of being fearful of the things that someone triggers you with or brings out in you. I feel like on his end, he had a lot of negativity that he had to release. Also, in regards to this energy, is transformation. They had to release a lot of negativity between the two of them. They need to. That is a part of the advice for this message here. What other advice would you like to give for Justin Timberlake and Britney? They needed to look at the bigger picture. I feel like Justin was too interested in the details and the nitty-gritty, and he was focused on like making things look a certain way or be a certain way for him to suit him. But in reality, he should have taken the Sagittarian approach, which is Britney's energy here. I'm just going to say it. She was looking at the bigger picture and she was kind of going with the flow. He was kind of stagnant and feeling like he needed to control things. And that's where they lost the bigger picture of this relationship and what was meant to be. I'm not condoning anything. I don't know what else has happened between them. I know about Crimea River, so I know about kind of the story there of his hurt towards her. But that's about it. But they were not looking at the bigger picture together. This was star-crossed, right? This happened in a moment and it was meant to. It almost, like when I heard collided, it was like almost like, on two stars, they're butt heads, but it's something to help them understand the dynamic of themselves, to understand themselves and to heal. We also have your commitments being tested. Their commitment was being tested and they didn't see it as such. And it didn't work out. Like, I feel like they could have made it work. They needed a practical plan though. How can you make a practical plan when you're trying to run around like a chicken with its head cut off, trying to make everyone happy, make everything work, and you're not even able to focus on a relationship? It's like, how do you make that work? It's understandable, completely understandable, and no one's at fault here except for, we all have our own actions we should be accountable for, but they did what they could and it was tested and it didn't pass the test, okay? Okay, so let's see what else is coming through. I feel like I should be doing a reading on like a little segue into what is the current energy between them now. That is the current energy between them at the time. What is the current energy between them now? What is Britney's external vibe towards Justin Timberlake? What is Britney's external vibe towards Justin? What is her internal vibe towards him? What is Justin's external vibe towards Britney? What is Justin's internal vibe towards Britney? Whoa, okay. So you guys kind of saw that. That's 3 cards. Wow. We need an explanation on him, apparently. But we have the Empress, we have the Knight of Cups, and we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Wow, there's the emotions aren't there. Interesting. With the Empress, look at all the cups, by the way. Like, I'm feeling as though what I'm seeing here is that I'm seeing two parties. I'm seeing one person willing to give their love, and then the other is not interested. Because when I see the Queen of Cups in reverse, that denotes like there's like a loss of love for a situation, but someone's trying to bring that love to them. Let's see what comes through, okay? So as far as the external vibe Britney has towards him, it's still the Page of Cups, or is the Page of Cups, I should say. This is the first time this has come out. So the Page of Cups is about having like a little bit of a light-hearted energy towards someone, of recognizing the love that she had for him in her youth. I'm feeling like a youthful energy and like a sweet energy towards him. It's like, I'm just gonna let you guys know this is external, so this is just how she wants to perceive, wants people to see how she feels about him. It's like, it's a sweet love. It's like a nostalgic love. It's like an inner child love. Like, I recognize how he felt at the time, and I'm okay with that. Page of Cups. Let's look at his external vibe. Eight of Cups and Eight of Cups. I don't know why I was going to say Eight of Cups in reverse. I feel like he says he's done with the situation and is moving on to something, or has moved on to something more emotionally fulfilling. But I almost feel like he's like, I think he lied to himself a lot before he got to this place of moving out of this energy of wanting her or being in a relationship with her. It's interesting how I said reverse. That's usually when someone's stuck and they're not able to emotionally seek out what they need. So yeah, he felt like he was stuck for quite some time. They want you guys to know that, but he's moved out of that. He's looking for something more fulfilling, or has achieved what he feels is more fulfilling externally. So externally, he's like, yeah, I'm just going to kind of leave that situation in the past. That situation was one of these cups. I'm moving on, okay? His internal vibe says a lot. Okay, his internal vibe is the Knight of Wands, well, I was going to say the Hierophant, but it's the Hermit and the King of Swords. He's learned a lot of lessons in this relationship. So he's moved quickly into this energy of insight, and it's like insight, you're understanding your inner light. Deep introspection happened with him, and I'm seeing 22 on the clock. He learned a lot of truths, hard truths about himself and about what he wants. He got a lot of clarity, and he sees her as this way. So internally, he sees her as the means for which he received a lot of clarity, and I feel like he's really grateful for that. I don't see an issue with that at all. Her internal vibe towards him, though, is the Ten of Swords. A very painful ending. She sees him as like someone who really hurt her, who really affected her, I'm hearing her trajectory, where she went, and I got goosebumps again. So Spirit's trying to highlight, she feels like he brought her to where she is now, and he was a part of that. She has full creative energy and ability to do whatever she wants with free will, but I feel like she still feels like he really affected her very harshly, and to where she felt like she was stuck and pinned down. So that's a really tough energy to feel. He feels like he learned a valuable lesson with her. She feels like she's tortured by him internally. She feels like the ending of the relationship was very hard. I'm hearing pitiful. The ending of the relationship was very pitiful. What would you like to say about their current circumstances here, Spirit Guides? To close, what would you like to say about the situation between them now, as of today, September 5th, 2023? Okay. What would you like to say about Justin and Britney, Spirit? All right. Whoa. Okay, so we have 3 cards. We have Imprisonment with the number 29. We have Child, which is number 18. And we have Main Male, which is 1. Bottom of the deck is the Marriage card, Courthouse, and Sudden Wealth. Whoa. He wanted to tie her down, guys. He wanted to have a baby with her. He wanted to marry her. He wanted to do all of those things because that was what he thought was the pinnacle of success, was to be a successful artist and to have a successful relationship with one of the most talented or most notable people in music history. I feel like he was really into this vibe of like, I'm gonna make it work. It's gonna happen for me. Like this guy was like really trying to make this happen. He was trying to tie her down with the relationship or with this child. And I feel like he was trying to get her pregnant, or he was trying, like, it's interesting. I'm just getting the dynamic that he really wanted, I'm hearing the F word, really wanted that, and he wanted also to have a child, to have a future with her. Now I'm going to check in with their archetypes. So he's given me the vibe of like, I was going to keep her down, or I was not keep her down on purpose, but like I was going to really make her a slave, because I got that attribute just looking at me right now. So he wanted her to kind of fit his understanding of the world, and she was not about that. She felt so restricted. And I feel like the family had something to do with this, so trying to do this, and she sabotaged it on purpose. I'm feeling like this is Britney Spears, her light attribute. And this is your spirit. What would you like this to be? Yeah, this is also her light attribute. And this too. Spirit, what is Britney's karmic attribute that you'd like me to touch base on? Wow, and this one. These are too many, Spirit. Do you really want me to use them? Okay, I hear yes, I do. Okay. I was about to say Justin Bieber. Okay, Justin Timberlake, light attributes. Whoa. And that's the karma. Wow. So overall energy is victim here, is what they want me to show you. So this is prevents you from letting yourself be victimized there, or victimizing others. Prevents you from letting yourself be victimized or victimizing others. That is the energy that I'm getting from Britney. She was not allowing anyone to control her or to make her feel victimized here. All right, so her light attributes was Avenger. Wow. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on oneself, on the behalf of society or oneself. Very justice oriented. She wanted to set herself free from anything that would hold her back. She wanted to balance the scales of justice here. Judge. What? So Britney's getting all of the Libran cards, or like the energy of like balance. It says balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. She wanted to be in an equal give or take relationship. She wanted to have just as much power as the guy did. Or I'm feeling like it's a gender play, like a power play here. Like she didn't like feeling like she had to be demure and quiet, and she felt like she wanted to be equal. We also have, wow, Exorcist. Whoa. Freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. She really brought out a lot of things, a lot of impulses in her relationship with Justin. They want us to know that she was probably just triggering him left and right, which is on him because it's meant to be there for his journey, for his healing. She's just a very justice-oriented person energetically, so naturally if there's an imbalance in you, it's going to show out, it's going to come out. We have her karmic archetype, though, as making up tales that harm others. So she tends to be really good at weaving her stories, but sometimes she also would weave them in a way that was not true, or make it up to harm other people. So that's not a really good energy to have in regards to her telling you something. Like if you're listening to an account from her, please be aware of like all of the information that you receive. Don't just believe it blindly, because I'm feeling like sometimes she kind of inserts stories or inserts information that is true to her potentially, but is not true objectively. And that's like really difficult to see, because if someone's so balanced, right? She's so balanced and focused on freeing herself from destructive impulses, it's kind of denying some aspects of her story. It could be as simple as little tales that were said that aren't truly real or even true, but she's getting that storyteller vibe. She's really good at telling stories in general. So she has a way of getting your attention into a story, but she needs to be aware of that ability, that she can harm other people if it's not true. Okay. Rebel. Yeah, she's a rebel. her karmic or shadow archetype here is rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. So she tends to rebel. She's a very rebellious energy, very free-spirited energy. I wouldn't be surprised if she was like an indigo child or like an earth angel. I've said that in another reading, so I might link that up on the top right. She just rebels. She's not interested in trying to conform to anyone, and this is why the idea of marriage was something that she wasn't ready for at the time. Mind you, keep in mind that she also went through so many different things prior to getting married, so you can't really look at her presently and say that she was that person. She's grown. So at the time that they were together, she was really rebellious as well. We have bully. This is her shadow attribute, which is conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Sometimes she would be really cutting, like we got with the Queen of Swords, and say really hurtful things to people in order to conceal her pain. So her way of like addressing her pain was to fight back. Very confrontational energy, and she would do what she could to make you feel like you needed to back down. So she would say really hurtful things to people when she's angry. Seeker. Okay, it's the inability to commit to a path once found. She got this in her last reading, so I'm definitely gonna request that the people watching this watch this video, watch the other video I did on her and Sam Asghari. But she had Seeker in the karmic archetype, inability to commit to a path. She's always thirsting for wisdom, but I don't think she finds it in the confines of a typical committed relationship. She's better off just kind of free-flowing. I don't think like marriage is something that would really benefit her for long. I feel like companionship is what she wants most of all, and that's okay. It's just knowing that about yourself is important. I also see here, wow, didn't I mention slave to you guys? We have giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. So sometimes she'll like let other people choose for her, which is very distinct from the rebel card here. I think that what she does, I think at times she does, if she trusts you, she lets you do stuff, like she lets you like take over certain things for her. If it's like her finances and things like that, she'll let other people come in to help her. But I think she's grown from this energy. I feel like she's more like has her guard up, but she does have a fear of making her own choices. Sometimes she relies on other people to make her own choices, and it can become arduous and it can be difficult when you're always having to make choices for someone. I don't think she has a good time at like making choices for herself. And sometimes I feel like she fears her choices and her choice making, like decision making process with regards to her own life. She's equal with other people and balanced, or looks for balance within groups of people, but within herself she feels like she's like always kind of going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and she doesn't feel like she knows really what's the best for her sometimes. Interesting, right? Because we know about the conservatorship, I don't know how to say it, but we know about that. I know that a bit about that, and so having someone do the choices for her was very draining. So I feel like that was way excessive. That was like excessive for her. She may have had the tendency of needing assistance, but it was taken to the extreme. So that is what she has for her energy. Now for Justin Timberlake's, right? Let's just kind of move these down. Dilettante. He has delights in the arts without having to be a professional, alerts you to the danger of becoming superficial in your pursuits. He was really artsy, really, really crafty. He's a very artistic person. Hero, heroine, passion for a journey of self-empowerment. He was like constantly like encouraging himself, being confident that he was going to rise up to the occasion and he was going to do his very best. I feel like he had mantras that he would tell himself in order to get to the top of that mountain. He had ways of like, I don't know if it was his faith at the time or his faith in general, but it takes him to this place of self-empowerment, of growing. So he's in a place of like, when you're in the energy of receiving self-empowerment and growing with somebody, you tend to be open to like more karmic energies because those teach you really hard lessons. And in this life, I feel like he learned a really hard lesson with Britney, and that was about personal empowerment and not relying on an image of someone and putting your faith and your trust in that image instead of yourself. He had to look inward instead of looking outward for what he wanted, and I feel like that's his journey of personal empowerment here. father. So he has the father archetype in the light attribute, which is talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. I feel like he was really interested in becoming a father. I feel like he's seen himself as being a father one day very strongly, especially when they were in a relationship. I feel like he saw himself like that one day. And so he wanted to support life. He wanted to be a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. He wanted to be like the supporter or the shepherd in a family setting. He seems like more of a nurturing energy, like with the pentacles we got earlier, the 7 of Pentacles. He feels like he just wanted to nurture something and dote on something here and someone here. We have warrior. Strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will. Heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. Wow. He was a strong-willed person. And that makes sense why he had such a strong inclination towards Britney and wanted what he saw to come to fruition. He was so adamant that he knew what they both wanted. I'm hearing reboot. Like he would try to start over, or like energetically try to start again every day, because he was so so tied into this idea that things were going to work out, and it didn't work out. There's a lot of disappointment there, but he's the warrior energy, so he was willing to fight to get that. Karmic attributes we have is liberator, imposing your own tyranny over those you claim to liberate. He imposed on her energy, her freedom, ignoring legitimate constraints. Instead of being a liberator and freeing people, he was more so the conflicted person who would try to hold on to people. 4 of Pentacles energy, trying to hold on to someone, very possessive. Lover, look at that. When you have lover and liberator, you have someone that's like tying you down. They want to tie you down right away, which is not a bad thing. It's just in his energy, it's strong as hell. Obsessive passion that harms others, self-destructive devotion. He has such self-destructive devotion towards her, and it was like he was willing to like do everything and anything to really keep this going, and he just really was obsessed with her. Okay, and we also have Midas, miser. Wow, hoarding money and emotions, obsessive fear of losing your wealth. I feel like he saw her as an object. 4 of Pentacles energy, like I said, right? I said that earlier, if you guys remembered, and I remembered also mentioning how he's possessive. This is about hoarding your wealth. He felt very protective of his, what he thought was his. He considered her his. Not really good energy. Not really. Well, that is what I have for you guys today. That is the energy of what they brought past tense to the relationship and what happened, and as well as what they currently see in each other. So I hope this helps you understand them a bit better and the dynamic between them. If you'd like to book a personal reading or to see more exclusive content, specifically more in-depth readings, definitely check out my Buy Me a Coffee in the description box below. And also, if you'd like to support me with a donation for the readings that I've done, I've been kind of doing a lot of readings lately. In the past month, I've done 67 or so, and I have more to come. So I've just been working really hard. If you'd like to support the work I've put in, definitely check out the links below in the description box. I would truly appreciate it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys soon. Take care.